Alright, this is going to be a short discussion on animations. Animations are covered extensively in CIS 196 using Adobe Flash. But for this class, we're going to talk about it just a little bit. Animation is simply a moving or changing of a graphic image. Virtual world created by animated objects has physical properties including height, width, depth, and time, and used appropriately, animation can be an integral part of a website. For more than 50 years, Walt Disney has been creating animated objects and characters such as Mickey Mouse that make moviegoers laugh and cry. Others have joined Disney, and today realistic animation is all around us. Entertainment in general, and children's entertainment in particular, rely heavily on animations, but animation can also be extremely effective in education and training, as well as in advertising and e-commerce. Drawing attention to something of no use is an example of an ineffective and negative application of animation. An animation specialist is responsible for creating the animation on a website and making sure that it's used effectively with the other contents of the website. Planning is important to ensure the animation is appropriate and well conceived. Storyboards help visualize your multimedia site and your animations. The animation specialist must have technical skills and design savvy. An excellent way to increase appeal of a website and ensure return visits. Animations can be simple, as in blinking text, marquee-like scrolling headlines, rotating logos, animated icons, web buttons, and 2D action figures. Complex concepts can be simplified and can use animation to visualize each concept. Animations offer a better instructional tool than video. It's easy to understand, it's more cost effective, and creates smaller file sizes. Many websites use animation geared toward entertaining kids and helping them to learn, such as Sesame Street, or the site here that uses Marvin the Martian from Looney Tunes. It talks about macro media Flash in this book, but we use Adobe Flash here on campus. It allows web pages to run animations with smaller file sizes. Animation must be designed to be appropriate to the application and geared toward users of the site and make sense with the content. It must go with what you've got going on in the web page. An animation that doesn't connect and doesn't have a use should never be placed in the site. Animation should impact, not detract. Determine amount of animation. Animate what you want users to notice. Animation is appropriate to mood and content of the application. Not too many animated objects per page. That can be distracting. Animation that does the same thing over and over is also annoying. Use transitions and special effects that help communicate a message, and make sure animations load quickly. Alright, digital animation based on flipbooks. A flipbook is a sequence of slightly different visual images and that is compressed and then played back to convey a sense of motion. Two rates used to measure animation is sampling and playback. Sampling rate is the number of different images that occur per second, and the playback rate is the number of frames displayed per second when the animation is being viewed. Both the sampling rate and the playback rate work together to create high quality animation, and your playback rate cannot be higher than your sampling rate. When the illusion of motion fails and the animation appears as a rapid sequence of still images instead of fluid motion, the animation is said to flicker. So we don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that you keep your playback rate proportional there to your sampling rate. Frame-based animations are also called cell animations. Computer-based cell animation is based on changes that occur from one frame to the next. Prior to computer-generated animation, artists drew each cell or frame needed to create the illusion of movement. Tweening is the process of drawing between frames and requires keyframes. Morphing is a special technique that uses frames to create the illusion of one object changing into another. Morphing on the web generally uses a process called shape tweening. Path-based animation, also called vector animation, involves the creation of one object and a path. Then tweening is used to fill in the frames as the object moves along the path. Computational animation moves the object by varying coordinates. A program or script-based animation involves the use of programming or scripting languages to create the animation. Animations are often more flexible than those created using the other methods. This in Flash, for those of you that have had 196 or in 196, this would be using your action script to create your animation. Understanding 3D animation, special effects, and VR. 3D animation is the foundation of many multimedia games and adventure websites. 3D animation is considerably more complex than 2D. Animating 3D images and objects may involve frame-based, cell-based, or program-based animation to change the object's shape and position. Changing lighting, perspective, and camera angles assist in creating the illusion of animation in a 3D world. The rendering, giving objects attributes such as color, surface textures, and opacity. You see there in that image, it goes from the wireframes down to the finished image with the textures applied. Onion skinning creates new images by tracing over an existing image. Trail effect, when image from the previous frame is not completely erased so that it appears in the new frame. Warping is a single image used, and morphing is more than one object. Warping is similar to morphing. However, instead of using two different images, as is done with morphing, when an image is warped, a single image is used. It allows you to distort the image from the original. And morphing actually takes a first image and morphs it through some frames into a second image and makes them kind of lay on top of each other. Then virtual reality is used to describe 3D scenes on the web that surround the user to become part of the experience. Using VR, web developers are able to create 3D objects that users can manipulate with a pointing device such as a mouse, trackball, or joystick. Virtual reality is becoming more and more popular. It originated with the military. Used in their simulations. Today, a lot of electronic games are starting to use virtual reality, which makes the user feel like they're immersed in the environment. But the hardware and software can determine how much users can interact with the environment. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about any type of virtual reality type programming. There are some limitations based on what the client or the user can accomplish in the 3D and virtual reality realm. Animation software, it gives examples there. They say Macromedia, we use Adobe, Fireworks, and Flash, Image Ready, and Shareware. I know most of y'all probably heard of Fireworks. It's a tool that includes features that allow developers and designers to quickly and easily create animation. It combines both bitmap and vector editing tools within a single environment. Of course, Flash is used in 196 to create animations. Image Ready is packaged with Photoshop and is specifically designed for the production of superior web graphics and animations. Allows developers to create interactive rollover effects without writing a single line of JavaScript code. It does it for them. And then shareware programs are distributed based on the honor system. They're sometimes free of charge, although there might be a small fee for delivery. And then Talks a little bit about fireworks. It allows you to import files from digital cameras, scanners, and other graphic applications. Flash allows you to work with vector graphics to create incredibly smooth, compact animation. Talks here about Flash here too. You can import artwork from Illustrator or Macromedia freehand. Uses a timeline for control and has its own built-in scripting language called ActionScript. Image Ready, as packaged with Photoshop, allows developers to create interactive elements without writing code. Produces high-quality graphics and animation with small file sizes. And then Shareware. You can create animated banners and signs, apply special effects to images and that sort of thing. Then it talks about formats for the web and for animation files. Viewed on the web, the multiple images are streamed or played back one at a time. Animated GIFs require no plugins or players and are supported by all major browsers. SWF, designed for efficient graphic delivery over the web. Files are small, support streaming, so they can be delivered over a network with limited bandwidth. You'll have to have the Flash player on the computer to be able to play SWF files. QuickTime, MOV movies. Apple's animation and movie file format. Non-platform specific, can be either downloaded or streamed. QuickTime player is needed to be able to view the files. And then you got MPEG, Moving Picture Experts Group. Creative standards for interactive animation and video. MPEG files are much smaller compared to other coding formats, much higher quality for the size. AVIs, audio video interleave format. Microsoft's animation and movie file format for Windows. Quality is adequate, but does not offer some of the features and cross-platform compatibility found in other formats, and files may take longer to download. MNG is multiple image network graphics, similar to an animated GIF. The format stores multiple images that are then streamed for quick download and playback. Offers advantages over the GIF format. It supports multiple levels of transparency, which permits subtle changes in opacity for the creation of animation that is more professional in appearance. It also offers platform-independent color correction, so the animation will display accurately across multiple platforms. Alright, so that ends the animation section, because like I said, animation is covered extensively in 196. If you have questions on animation as far as for this class, though, please let me know.